Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the studio. Happy snow day for many of you. I know you are, if you're in the Liberty Public Schools, I know you're off. I think Park Hill and North Kansas City are the same way. So a lot of you out there have a snow day. We are here at the studio and we are open for regular classes. So I'm going to link in the housekeeping section, even though it wasn't prepared for the slideshow, but I will link the weather policy for everybody so that you have it and you know how it works here. But generally, we try to stay open. If you can make it, great. If you can't, there's always makeups available. But we try to be here. It's easier for us to just continue with our schedule than it is to try to get makeups for 400 plus kids. Um, so we'll be here and we'll have our classes. If you can safely make it, we'd love to see you. And if not, there are weekly makeups available. So diving in to what's going on in this week 4 of February, let's take a look at the calendar because we do have some off days that are not weather related. So we're going to talk about those. The first is you'll notice the preschool classes. There's no preschool classes on Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday this week. Monday preschool class. If you come to Plotwood Studio for a Monday preschool, you guys still have class. You had last week off because of Martin Luther King Day. So we got to get you your third class of the month. So you still have class this week, but Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, kiddos, you have wrapped up your February or your January curriculum, and so we will see you in February. This is an off day for you. Creative Explorations also wrapped up their January classes, so you'll see that we are off Wednesday and Friday for Creative Explorations. Okay, so those are the off days this week. It's not random. I promise the whole calendar was figured out long before you even registered. So if you ever want to know what your class calendar is, if you didn't write it down when you actually registered, which was on the listing, when you click the little icon that says dates, it populates a calendar for you and you can look at it. If you didn't write that down because there was a lot going on, that's okay. It is actually inside your Sawyer account, so you can log in to your Sawyer account. It has a calendar there just for you. You can even export all of those class dates to your iCalendar or to your Google Calendar, okay? So like I said, not random. It may seem random if you're just watching the videos, but it isn't. It's all predetermined and decided, and all your classes are available for you to do all of your planning. We will continue to send email reminders. We'll continue to remind you in the weekly videos, but just so you know, it's not like we just wake up and we're like, let's take the day off. The class schedule is there. All right. I got to get my mouse situated. I also probably need to run over and make sure that we're actually live on YouTube. And that the audio is working. Should we check that? I hate when I go through the whole video and they have technical difficulties. That'd be terrible. Okay, we're good. Fabulous. All right, drink some coffee. Let's talk about what these kids are doing in classes this week. So with the preschool, remember, no Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday classes this week. Monday classes are doing what Tuesday, Thursday, Friday did last week because Mondays had the day off for Martin Luther King Day. We're going to be playing with flashlights. We're going to read the book Flashlight by Lizzie Boyd. We'll go on an animal hunt. We will paint with black and white paint. We'll do some shadow tracing. And that is the end of our light and dark month. So for those of you who enjoyed playing in the dark, we're so glad that you enjoyed it. The lights will be on beginning next time you come to the studio, beginning in February. And we begin a month that studies portraiture and figure art. In our K-3 multimedia classes, we're working on these giant abstract paintings. It is acrylic paint month in the studio. It is the last week of acrylic paints, which means all of the projects should go home this week. So we're hoping that everybody finishes. These look so good, you guys. Make sure you dial into social media this week because we'll get a lot of great pictures posted of their finished paintings. I know at both studios we have taken the tape borders off, so they have a beautiful white border on them, real crisp and clean. We'll add finishing marks with black and white paint this week, and then write our artist statements, and they will go home. If for some reason your artist didn't finish, maybe they missed a week and they didn't get caught up in class, makeups are always available, okay? So if they don't take their art home, maybe ask them why. Sometimes they just left it on the table. Or maybe they needed more time to finish. And if that's the case, like I said, it is the end of the month. So when we come next time, we're not getting out acrylic paints. They won't even be available. They'll be in the closet someplace. But makeups are available anytime to come in and wrap that up. For our 4th and our 5th and our homeschool classes, these animal portraits are looking so good, you guys. I tried to grab a couple out of the closet. I'm a little bit worried because they are ones with green backgrounds. So you can see this one here. You're only able to see the animal. The whole background is green, but can you tell what the animal is? It's a hamster. But they look so good. All of these little, and they're all unique, which is something, and this one also has a blue, green background on it, as you can see, but the puppy is what's important. So they look really good, you guys, and they're all different, and they're all unique, and I'm so proud of all of our kids and our instructors. This is a hard thing when you have a class full of, 8 to 12 kids, and they're all doing something different, and you're working with each kid individually to get to the next step of their particular artwork and their particular painting. So most of our artists will finish. I asked in the staff meeting on Friday, like if any instructors were like really alarmed at kind of the pacing of the class or any other classes weren't going to finish, and they said almost everybody will finish. There's some instances somebody's got a slower start, they spent more time drawing, maybe they switched their picture, maybe they started over, maybe they missed a class that they may not finish, but for the most part, almost everybody will finish their artwork this week and it will go home with you. If your artist doesn't, just ask them, say, did you need more time? Did you leave it on the table? What happened? And then if you need to sign up for a Wednesday or a Friday night to come in for additional time so we can wrap that up, we would be happy to do that. If your artist really struggled, makeup times are a great time to come in because oftentimes you are working one-on-one with an instructor who can really sit down with you and go through the steps and kind of handhold if that's what's needed. Okay. So next week we start printmaking. So this week we'll be finishing up these and they'll go home with an artist statement. And next week we will we'll start our printmaking project. All right, our 6th, 7th, and our 8th, 12th, they're working on these altered image paintings. I brought a couple to share with you. I tried to pick ones that don't have a lot of green in them. I didn't succeed on this one, but I thought it was so cool. Hopefully, it shows a lot of green there at the bottom, but isn't that cool? Now these guys are working on a little bit smaller scale. It's a little more detailed, lots of little brushes. They are also using, in addition to the acrylic paints, they're also using Posca markers, which are acrylic paint pens, so they can really get in with some of the details. They will also wrap up this week, and none of the instructors were concerned with them finishing. So they'll take theirs home and be ready to start our printmaking project in February. So that's our next week's class. All right, creative explorations. I'm going to grab my notes to make sure. So there are no creative explorations classes this week. That's that note right there. We wrapped up all the January stations last week. So it's the last chance for those acrylic paints and black light stuff and glowing things and shadow tracing and everything. So creative explorations, when you come in next week, we'll have all the February stations up. It's going to lean into printmaking, which is what our multimedia classes are doing. Portrait and figure art, which is what our preschool and our drawing realistic classes are doing. So I think it'll be a fun one. All right, Drawing 101. So Drawing 101 last week, you can see this is a picture from one of our Ella's Platwoods class, maybe Monday night, maybe Tuesday night. I can't remember. But she's doing a chalk pastel landscape with them. So we looked at pictures of snowy landscapes. There's a lot of color involved. Most of them are sunset or sunrises. So we have some pretty colors coming through on the snow. And we use chalk pastels to render those from photographic reference. In this week's class, we'll be drawing from our imagination, working on repetition and patterning and illustration, and we're gonna draw snowflakes, which is just the weather really cooperated for us on that. So we'll draw some snowflakes. We're gonna use some ink drawing techniques, and we'll get out the glass pens for the first time this semester. In our 102 level classes, so for our realistic kiddos, it is our figure month. We'll do portraiture next month. So it's figure month. We've already done for photograph, we drew dancers. We drew from life last week or 2 weeks ago when we did the gesture drawings, and we drew from imagination this past week when we drew from mannequins. This week is a wild card week, which means we can go back and revisit any of those lessons. A lot of the instructors will also plan an additional lesson based on the needs of their class or a challenge or something for those kids that are like, I don't know what to work on. It's not a party, it's not a free for all. It's a time to really drill down into one of those drawings, either redo it, get some help on it, or finish it if they really loved it. So, and then our 102 illustrative kiddos have been doing world building in the whole month of December. We looked at interior rooms and we put our character inside an inside space and did rules of linear perspective. And now we are in an outside space in the month of January. We're doing a lot of world building. So they started very zoomed out on a map, created a world, and then zoomed in. Last week was drawing their character on kind of a streetscape level. So we're looking for the scale to be that we're actually zoomed in on the character. We have a scene. Um, whether that's actually on a street is irrelevant. It could be in the middle of a forest. But we're looking at the rules of atmospheric perspective, and then if there are buildings and roads and streets, then it is linear perspective. So I'm trying to apply all of those in our drawing. It is wildcard week for our illustrative kids as well. So they will go back to one of those 3 lessons, whether you're really zoomed out, kind of zoomed out, or zoomed in, and they will finish one of those drawings, or they will redo one of those drawings, or they will get help on one of those drawings. And then if they need something else, our instructors will have an additional challenge planned for them. 103 level classes are wrapping up their pictures this week. So our illustrated kids have been working on studying the art of Dr. Seuss and the style of Dr. Seuss and drawing an animal that is in that vibe of Dr. Seuss with a background that also has similar repetition and pattern and color scheme that we see in Dr. Seuss illustrations. So theirs look really good, and they'll be taking theirs home this week. Our 103 realistics have been doing a modern still life. So this is an arrangement of objects that are drawn from life, and then they are like hyper pigmented. So we take the saturation point up, and we've been doing it with alcohol markers. Last week we layered in colored pencils on top of alcohol markers, and this week we'll do finishing touches, and hopefully they'll get to take those home. For housekeeping stuff, we've got a reminder here. This is the scheduling stuff we talked about at the beginning, but now it's written out in one little paragraph. No preschool classes Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So that includes your fundamentals and your toddler art and play, and no creative explorations classes at all this week. Those are the Wednesday, Friday classes. Okay. Not all Wednesday, Friday classes, right? Just the creative exploration ones. So if you're like a drawing student, you come on a Wednesday, you still have class, just the creative explorations. Junior staff, I'm getting some emails about this, which is fabulous because we posted all the summer stuff, right? And so the question that people have is like, what do I do with my graduating 5th grader? And they're now 13. Like, they're like too old for summer camp. So what do they do? Well, they can absolutely still come to the art in the afternoon or the evening classes. Those are completely age appropriate for them. It is a wide age range, but it is appropriate for them, and they would love the projects. I'm a grown adult and would love the projects, so they're never going to age out of the projects. I promise. All of us love those projects, but if they're looking for an environment where they are in a leadership role, they can still attend camp, they can still do the projects, but they're on the teaching team instead of with the kids. We have a junior staff program for the kids who have finished 5th grade. You have to be an Orange Easel student. We don't just take any old 6th grader, incoming 6th grader. You have to be an Orange Easel kiddo because we want you to have some sort of understanding of the studio space. We need you to have an understanding of our teaching philosophy, and you've been a recipient of it, so you know it. We need you to have some skill because we may have you help a kid with a project, and so we need you need to be skilled in something. Multimedia kids really excel in this because camps use everything. They use collage, they use printmaking, they use fiber arts. And so a multimedia kiddo who has finished 6th grade usually has a couple years of those under their belt. So they're great to help with some of the projects, but drawing kids are invited as well. So junior staff program is coming up. It is 5th through 12th grade. So graduated 5th graders, you have to finish 5th grade, and you can apply for junior staff. It is designed from our end as a first job experience for our kids. We are a teaching studio. We love education. And so this is a teaching like opportunity for us to teach kids how to be great employees and great teachers and great team members. And so there's an application that they will fill out, and we really want the kids to fill it out because that's where the value comes in. There is an orientation or an interview process. So they will come in, they will interview with one of their Orange Easel student or teachers, and we go through that with them. They get a job offer email, and then they fill out their availability form, and they're scheduled for the summer. So all the information is on the website. I'll link it in the video when I send it out so that you have it. But it's a really cool program. We want our young, early teacher workers to have a great first job experience with people who love them and care for them and will nurture them. We'll give them feedback if they're slacking off or on their phone too much, or we'll give them feedback, but it'll come from a place of love. So that's our junior staff program. If the kids are interested in that, I think the information is on the website now, but the application process doesn't start till March 15th. And then there's like a 2-week application process and then a 2-week interview process. Okay. All right. And then just a quick note, make sure you save the date for the art show. It's coming up on May 3rd. That's a Sunday. It's the Belvoir Winery in Liberty. So I'll link the show website to the emails or to the video as well so that you can look it up. But we're going to talk a lot about that, especially once we get into March, because our drawing kids will begin working on pieces from for the show. And then at the end of March, beginning of April is when all the submissions have to get in so that we can begin the process of labeling, preparing for hanging, judging, putting things into a program. Yeah, a lot of back end stuff. So you're going to hear a lot about it, but make sure you save that date because we would love for you to be there. All right, you guys, that is it. I hope everyone's having a fantastic snowy day at home. Stay safe and warm out there, and hopefully we'll see you in the studio.